Hello, and welcome to our International Peace Day and Global Water Ceremony for Peace and Water Crystal Experiment. And our mission at Water Peace Project is to inspire and educate the importance of water for peace. Hello, I'm Lindsay Fox, water researcher, international Hiro instructor, and founder at Water Peace Project. And today I'm joined by two of our advisors and special guests. Please welcome my Hiro sister, Dr. Kumanga Andrahennadi. And Kumanga is the founder at the Center for Advanced Learning for Mindfulness. Thank you so much for being here today, Kumi.
Thank you, Lindsay, for having us.
And our other special guest today, please welcome Hiro Emoto from IHM and Office Master Emoto. And Hiro is a Hiro teacher and is also the son of the late great Dr. Masaru Emoto. And Hiro accompanied his father on his world tours, visiting more than 30 countries, spreading the messages from water and holding water ceremonies for the purpose of peace all over the world. And he also continues his father's legacy with organizing international Hiro instructor schools and carrying on his pioneering research and the Messages from Water book that has been translated in more than 75 languages now. So our sincere love and gratitude for you joining us today to hold this ceremony and water crystal experiment. Welcome, Hiro.
Thank you, Lindsay and Kumanga. Thanks for having me, and I'm so happy to see you.
Us too. I'm happy to see both of you. And as international Hiro instructors, it means a lot to come together today on International Peace Day to hold this special water ceremony for peace. And, you know, Dr. Emoto believed that by holding the intention of peace towards water, by thinking, by speaking and acting with the intentions of peace towards water, that water can and will bring peace to our bodies and to the world. And so, I mean, we're mostly made of water, and this is why we continue to pay our respect to water for the purpose of peace. And peace also begins within. So today we are conducting our 4th global water crystal experiment online here with all of you. And simultaneously, we're also conducting group consciousness experiment in collaboration with Aquasci. So both experiments begin now, and together we are exploring the power of consciousness. And for these 2 experiments, we have 2 water samples. One is in the lab in Germany, where it's constantly being measured by a special water sensor for any subtle changes during this experiment. And the other sample is sitting on Hiro's desk in Tokyo. And afterwards, it'll be photographed for water crystals. And Dr. Emoto's water crystal research revealed the quality of the Hiro, or vibrations, with a visual image through water. And so for today's water crystal experiment, as Dr. Emoto did, we'll start with the premise that water has a memory quality and changes when exposed to different Hiro or information or vibration. And first we'll begin we're going to imprint the water, and we're exposing the water to our ceremony prayers today. And after, the water will be divided into 50 samples. Then it will be frozen. And once the 50 samples are frozen, they are removed one at a time, observed and photographed under a microscope with a magnification about 100 to 200 times greater. And Dr. Emoto's water crystal photography really changed how we think about water. And after Dr. Emoto had departed Earth, I received this special message from one of the world's leading water scientists, Professor Gerald Pollack, and I will read that to you now. He wrote, Masaru Emoto's messages to water have inspired many scientists to look seriously into the impact of subtle energies on water. And clearly some impact exists, as multiple laboratories have confirmed, with a growing number of laboratories in the hot pursuit of the mechanistic details. We miss Emoto, but treasure the pioneering contributions that this great spiritual leader has brought to the world, especially the implicit challenge to scientists to understand the mechanistic basics to those messages to water. And I'm so grateful for Professor Pollack and that sentiment. And this is exactly why we continue to conduct these experiments and this water research. So we're really grateful that all of you are joining us to participate. And let's begin by synchronizing our breath and our intentions. And I'm going to sound the crystal bowl for 3 times, and we'll take 3 deep breaths. Let's connect to our sincere feelings of love and gratitude, and we'll direct them to the water sample you see on the screen now. And it's really no coincidence that we're coming together today for International Peace Day to hold a special ceremony and water crystal photography experiment. And when we learn about water, we learn about ourselves. And I personally have learned so much from water, and especially from Dr. Emoto's teachings. And when we understand how water responds to our vibrations, that's when we know how we need to treat others. And this actually becomes visually obvious when you look at water crystal photographs, I think, and or do the rice experiment. And they both clearly demonstrate how our thoughts, our words and intentions create vibrations that have a direct effect on water, on ourselves and on others, and actually on all water. So I mentioned this last time, but I just want to say that every time we come together, I really feel Dr. Emoto in my heart, and I feel his happiness resonating within me. And so I know that, especially conducting these experiments, he'd be really happy. We're all get the opportunity to learn more about water and the power of our consciousness. And it was because he dedicated his life to promoting peace through water and documenting his observations with his water crystal photography and how we're related to water on a deep level. And so he truly was a pioneer in water crystal photography, and which demonstrates the water memory theory. So Hiro, I'm so grateful for you joining us again today for this special ceremony and to conduct these water crystal experiments. Thank you so much, and welcome again.
Sure, thank you. I think I would like to share one episode first about my father's. My father was conscious about the peace since he was young. When he was he get married with my mother, actually, because my mother is from Korea. My father, of course, is from Japan. At that time, it was kind of rare for Korean and Japanese to get married because the relationship between Japan and Korea was really bad. But my father didn't care about it, and his family didn't care about it. But my mother's family cared about it, especially my mother's brother. He was a very strict person, and he was totally disagree with their marriage. And so he tried to, separate them in many different ways. One time he took my mother to a Korean school, and he put her in the school and then educate her and the history between Japan, Korea, what bad things Japan did to Korean people. And she was forced to learn Korean language there. Then, she had to be there for 1 month for the education. That's what he said, but it's kind of brainwashing. My father finally found my mother was there at the school, and then he visited there, and he of course knew that the brother disagreed with the marriage, so he really learned a lot of things about history between Japan and Korea. He even learned how to speak Korean, so that's why he went there, and then he speak a Korean language to the staff, and then he found out that the brother was there, so they talked each other, they had a discussion. And my mother's brother asked my father, maybe you guys are fine, but what's going to happen if Korea and Japan start the war in the future? What's going to happen to your future children? Ever since then, he was really conscious about the world peace. After that, of course, my mother's brother understood how he is, and he started to understand, and then they got, of course, married, and then after that their relationship was really good. They became a really good friend. That's a good thing about that too. But ever since that happened, my father was really conscious about the world peace. But after that, like, his life was nothing to do with the world peace, because he was working for like newspaper company, real estate company. But finally, when he was at the age of 45, when he was started his company, IHM, where he found the huddle and the water as a medium and the consciousness creating the world. So he could finally start to work for the world peace. So he was so motivated, and that's why he visited many countries, delivered a message for peace to local people. So really, literally, he dedicated for the world of peace, as he promised with my mother's brother at that time. So I think the question was that what is the important message that my father told me? But it's actually difficult because he's not the type of person to educate real sound. And so I learned from his seminar, learned from his activity and his book. But the one thing he said to me is that let's use huddle perspective to interpret what is happening in this world. So that's really the thing he really directly told me. But I think it's really important. On the other hand, I learned, of course, from other things, the way he is, and of course the water crystal photography, because water crystal photography telling a lot of key things about for the world peace. Our thoughts, words, prayer can affect the water, and our positive thoughts and positive consciousness, positive prayer, really the water shows beautiful crystals. But the negative thoughts and words, destructive sounds cannot create the water crystal, cannot create beautiful water crystal. So this is telling the beautiful reality is created with our beautiful and positive consciousness. And the most beautiful water crystal created was from the words of love and gratitude. And this can say that energy of gratitude really can make the most beautiful world. So that is why you should have the thoughts of love and gratitude in yourself, and of course, to the other people around you. So then the world will become a beautiful place. So that's what I learned from water crystal photography, and then I always cherish that thing.
That's beautiful.
Thank you, Hiro-chan, for sharing this really important message of the power of thoughts of love and gratitude, the intention, the pure intention of love and gratitude. And from everything that I've learned in my life from my parents, to hanging around with you guys, to Emoto, to teachers like Holiness Dalai Lama and Holiness Karmapa, is exactly this. Is actually this, our intention is the most important thing. That without the right intention, anything outside what we do really doesn't matter. When I interviewed Holiness the Karmapa for my PhD thesis, he said that doesn't matter how beautiful things we create outside, if our inside is pure and filled with these positive intentions, pure intentions, it doesn't matter about the creation. So I think, as a world right now where we are, we are really forward in the technology, everything, but then do we really have time to look inside and transform who we are? So I think this power of our ceremony, touches on that importance of taking time out to do something like this and to create this feeling of these positive feelings inside. And just to share with everybody, I'm after quite a serious surgery just 3 weeks ago, and I'm really grateful for you both for encouraging me to be a part of this ceremony, because I truly believe that today's ceremony will help me to heal better and faster. So thank you for giving me this opportunity for my own healing. And I want to share something. Lindsay shared so much goodness about Emoto Sensei's teachings, and Hiro did too. And I wanted to share something that I took from a book called The Book of Joy. And it's a dialogue between Archbishop Desmond Tutu and His Holiness the Dalai Lama. So I thought it's very, very appropriate to share the two viewpoints, but how they come together in the same meaning, same inspiration and intention. And so, the author says, some might wonder what our own joy has to do with countering injustice and inequality. What does our happiness have to do with addressing the suffering of the world? And in short, the more we heal our own pain, the more we can turn to the pain of others. But in a surprising way, what the Archbishop and the Dalai Lama were saying is that the way we heal our own pain is actually by turning to the pain of others. It is a virtuous cycle. The more we turn towards others, the more joy we experience. And the more joy we experience, the more we can bring joy to others. The goal is not just to create joy for ourselves, but as the Archbishop poetically phrased it, it is to be a reservoir of joy, an oasis of peace, a pool of serenity that can ripple out to all those around you. That's so beautiful words, And then the Dalai Lama said that when he explained how peace must come from within, and then Holiness also said that, I think if you're an intensely religious believer, he's speaking about waking up with this feeling of joy inside. He said that as soon as you wake up, you thank God for another day and you try to do God's will. And then he said, for a non-theist like myself, but who is a Buddhist, as soon as I wake up, I remember Buddha's teachings, the importance of kindness and compassion, wishing something good for others, or at least to reduce their suffering. And then I remember that every is interrelated. The teaching of interdependence. So then I set my intention for the day, that this day should be meaningful. Meaningful means, if possible, serve and help others. If not possible, then at least not to harm others. That's a meaningful day. So that's all I have to share. Thank you, Lindsay.
Thank you, Kumi, dear, for sharing that. And so meaningful and powerful, and the wisdom that you're sharing with these great spiritual leaders, and they teach us such powerful lessons. I'm grateful for the important lessons that I've learned from water, from Dr. Emoto, from both of you, and becoming a certified Hado instructor. I took that course 5 times, and each time I repeated it, some of the same exact lessons, but I would go deeper and understand something a little more than I did the first time. And so, but the one thing that I feel like I learned, which is exactly what you were saying, and I always felt in my heart to be true, even if I didn't know or understand it the way that I do now, is that we are all creating our reality with our Hado, or our vibrations, or that we create with our thoughts, our words, and our emotions. And Dr. Emoto taught the importance of paying our respect to water. And, he said that whenever you sit in front of water and send out the message of love and gratitude, that somewhere in the world, someone else is being filled with that love and gratitude. We don't have to go anywhere, that through the power of resonance, it's linked to all the water in the world. And so the water that we're looking at here in front of us here for our water ceremony, it's connected to everything. And so together we're going to cover the world and with a morphic field of our love and gratitude that could change the world into a world of peace and harmony. So with these thoughts in mind, let's begin the water ceremony. We'll begin, I will sound the crystal bowl. Kumanga will share a special poem. And if you want to get a glass of water now, that would be great. She's going to lead the poem with a glass of water, and Hiro will lead the grand invocation in Japanese, and together we'll chant the Hoonopono Prayer. So you can follow along by repeating after for the prayers. And during the ceremony, let's continue to direct our sincere feelings of love and gratitude to the water sample. So let's begin now.
Okay, so to begin our water ceremony today on the celebration of World Peace Day. World Peace Day should be every single day, like the Earth Day. However, today specifically is important as we celebrate this. And I would like to invite you to take that glass of water that Lindsay invited you to have by you. So you can have a glass of water between your palms, or you can put a drop of this water onto your palm. So whichever way that you prefer, you're welcome to do that. I'm going to put a little bit on my palm. I'm going to take you through a beautiful poem written by someone called Caroline Way, and it is a part of my PhD thesis. Actually, I started my thesis with this poem because it's so beautiful, and it's like a meditation, and connecting especially with the water sample in Japan through the water that we are holding between our palm, through the glass or on our palm. Connect with this water that is now right by us on our palm, connecting to our bodies and connecting to all the waters around our mouth. And also to connecting to all beings and especially connecting to the water that is in Japan, right by Hiro in Japan. So now let's take a long deep breath, arriving to this moment in time. So now just listen to the sound of my voice and be guided by the poem. So let's place a drop of water in the palm of our hand. The drop that you hold in your hand is part of the water, which was the cradle of all life. On this planet, eons ago, the first rain that splashed down the hot earth to form the first sea. Each drop in sunlight has risen from the sea in countless ages and fallen to the earth again as rain. That drop that you hold in your hand has been forming myriad rainbows, has traveled underground streams, bubbling through dark caverns, the architect of cathedral caves, formed valleys and split granite. The drop that you hold in your hand has flowed down broad rivers, has been the sweat of slaves, has risen in the sap of trees and tears of children. It has become the foam-topped waves and deep, unfathomable depths of vast dark lakes dead and seas. The drop that you hold in your hand has been part of the great flood. It has been a dewdrop on a blade of grass, a drop that has been pounded through the hearts of whales in blood and lain in an eagle's egg. It has traveled the fluid of a poet's brain and ripped from the wounds of the dying. The drop that you hold in your hand has been trapped in the snows of the Arctic, reflected in the sun in a desert oasis, and refreshed the weary. This drop, unimaginably old, yet fresh and so new, is now evaporating slowly from your hand to mingle with the air you breathe, perhaps, or drift in a sun-topped cloud 1,000 feet above the earth. Imagine its journey from your hand. Where will it go? You can direct its journey. As it evaporates, send your pure consciousness with it. It is the water of life. It is still water. Let's again take a moment to take a long, deep breath. Again, connecting with the water on your palm as it evaporates, sending your consciousness with the pure intention of love and gratitude towards the water sample in Japan. Now I pass on to Hiro.
Now I'm gonna chant a grand evocation. This is Japanese, the Kototama prayer. It's all about world peace. The meaning in English is the eternal power of the universe has gathered itself to create the world of true and grand harmony. So this chant was from Dr. Emoto's mentor, namely Dr. Shioya. Shioya is a teacher of Kototama, it's spirits of world. So everywhere Dr. Emoto had a ceremony, and he chanted this grand invocation. So now I'm gonna speak the invocation for 3 times, phrase by phrase. So please repeat after me. 宇宙の
宇宙の
無限の
無限の
力が
力が
凝り凝って
凝り凝って
誠の
誠の
大和の
大和の
御代が
御代が
なりなった。
なりなった。
はい、go longer。宇宙の無限の
宇宙の無限の
力が凝り凝って
力が凝り凝って
誠の大和の
誠の大和の
御代がなりなった。
御代がなりなった。
Last one。宇宙の無限の
宇宙の
宇宙の無限の
力が凝り凝って
力が凝り凝って
誠の大和の
誠の大和の
御代がなりなった。
御代がなりなった。
Thank you.
Thank you, Hiro. That was really, really nice. And now we will chant the Hoonopono Prayer. And this is also a prayer that Dr. Emoto chanted at every ceremony. It's a Hawaiian prayer for reconciliation and to create balance and harmony and healing. And it's 4 sentences, and you can join in by repeating after. Water, I am sorry.
Water,
Water, I'm sorry.
Water, please forgive me.
water,
Water, please forgive me.
Water, thank you.
Water,
Water, thank you.
Water, I love you.
water,
Water, love you.
Water, I am sorry.
water,
Water, I'm sorry.
Water, please forgive me.
water,
Water, please forgive me.
Water, I thank you.
water,
Water, thank you.
Water, I love you.
water,
Water, love you.
Water, I am sorry.
water,
Water, I'm sorry.
Water, please forgive me.
Water, please
Water,
forgive.
please forgive me.
Water, I thank you.
Water,
Water,
I thank
thank you.
Water, I love you.
water. I
Water,
love you.
I love you.
So that concludes our official part of the water ceremony. Thank you everyone for joining from all over the world and creating this positive intention on World Peace Day. So we can, of course, when we are reciting these very pure intentional prayers together, we are invoking this feeling of love and gratitude inside us. So it's, first of all, it's healing for us, for our mind and body, but also we can expand this feeling to all waters, everybody around us, and we can, of course, offer this pure intention to all beings in need right now. And please, continue to offer this prayer of love and gratitude every moment whenever you become conscious with it, to all beings in need. Especially nowadays, our world is suffering from the coronavirus. So I would also like to offer and dedicate our ceremony to all those who are suffering from it, and all those who have passed away, and all those families who are missing loved ones right now. So let's pray today very strongly that the world, we overcome this together. Together we are strong, and together we are much happier, and we can support each other. So I think I would like to pass on to Lindsay now. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Kumanga. Thank you so much. And that is so important right now. And it's so simple. We can all participate in prayers just right from where we are, like Dr. Emoto said. And your poem was so peaceful and powerful. Thank you for sharing that today. And Hiro, thank you for sharing the grand invocation. And I know the intention was for 10% of the world's population to chant this Kotodama to create peace and harmony. And 10%, Dr. Emoto explained as like a tipping point, that he actually used how microorganisms spread. Gave an example in his book about that, but basically 10% is, there was 10% in the bacteria example, 10% good bacteria, 10% bad, and the 80% would go in either direction. All it needed was that 1% tipping point. So that's what we hope to. And so we continue every month, and we're so grateful for you joining us today, Hiro. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah, I want to share the messages from Dr. Emoto for Hado instructors. It's called the 13 Spirits of Hado instructors. So you guys are Hado instructors, so you know these. But these are very important for, I think, everyone to have and to achieve world peace. So that's why I would like to share these 13 sentences. Okay, one, always try to understand what Hado is. Use Hado perspective to interpret all the phenomena that happened in the world. Build up the habit of sharing others what you learn and what ideas you are working on. Do not keep in your mind alone. Never worried about people laughing at your thoughts. Always consider the significance and the role of your being. Never think, I don't have to do this. Someone else can do it. Never give in to despair, but always cling to your mission. Don't say negative things about other people. Let those who leave go, welcome all newcomers. Keep in touch with as many people as possible. Communicate with your friends, absorb their huddle, and learn from them. Decide on theme in the field that you most enjoy studying, and conduct through investigation of that subject from a huddle perspective. Care for all animals and plants, stones, rocks, and all natural blessings with huddle of love. Children are presents from God, and work to create a society where children can grow without being contaminated by bad influences. Always have feeling of love and gratitude that we were born as a human being, a superb work of art. So these are spirits, 13 spirits for Hado instructors and for everyone who wants to achieve world peace. Yeah.
I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that with us today, Hiro. And for those of you who want to learn more about that and read about that, I think that's in the Truth of Hado book. Is that right, Hiro? The Truth of Hado?
Yeah.
And it's so, I love synchronicities. You know, Dr. Emoto said nothing's a coincidence, but just recently I came across this incredible video titled The 4 Bad Medicines. And it was spoken by Chief Phil Lane Jr. And it was so interesting because it was filmed like in the 80s, and I just came across it the other day, and it moved me so much that I reached out to him, and he wrote me right back right away. But I said, what you're saying is so much in line with, you know, what Dr. Emoto taught and why we do the work we do at Water Peace Project. But the 4 bad medicines were, first one was our thoughts. The second one was the things that we say about, like talking about other people or gossiping. The third was how we look at others. And the fourth was how we speak to others. And I feel like that was really resonant also with some of those 13 spirits for Hado instructors. It's, you know, understanding that, you know, that we're the creators of that, and the outcome is in our hands. And I feel like that's what world peace is about also, is it comes down to you know, how we each, what we are all putting out into the world. And so I'm so grateful for both of you and your support here at Water Peace Project, and the resonance that we share, and continue to conduct these ceremonies every month. I know that Chief Phil Lane is going to join us also, so that's exciting. And love and gratitude for everyone who's joined us today. This was our 4th and our last water crystal experiment for this year. We're going to repeat next year, but I wanted to make a quick mention about the water crystals on our background today. These are some of the incredible results from our last water crystal experiment, which we conducted on Dr. Emoto's birthday. And there were so many beautiful ones. These stood out as exceptional to me. And if you look closely, even one of them has a little E mark in it. Of course, I interpret that as E for Emoto. And but these are just some examples of the beautiful results that we've received during these experiments. And so we're planning a live stream on October 17th, which was the day that Dr. Emoto departed Earth. And we will come together and pay our respects and honor his great work, where we will share a special water crystal presentation with all of the results from these 4 experiments. And we hope each of you will join in resonance. And to learn more about everyone. You can connect with Hiro and Kumi through our site to learn about our schedule, our experiments, and our published research. Please visit us at waterpeaceproject.org. Thank you, Kumi and Hiro, both for today. Love and thanks to each of you for participating. We hope you join us again. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Arigato.
you. Thank you, Hiro.
Arigato. And peace to everyone. Bye.